Hey, it's good to see you here. And Bill, so good to have you back every week. Thank you. You've been my great accountability partner, making sure we do these every week.
Someone's got to do it.
I know. I think I'm with lots of reasons not to do things.
I gotcha.
But hey, I appreciate it. And so today, Bill and I were chatting. We were on a home tour last week. My house won best of tour, so thank you. It was great. But and this is kind of one of the things we wanted to talk about because I think we're seeing this trend, Bill, and I've been talking to other people about this as well, kind of not making sure it's not just what I'm seeing. But
Mhm.
when I take buyers into houses, like these houses aren't really ready to show. It looks like literally someone just walked out the door and left everything where it was to show the house.
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, I do many home tours. I do at least one a month in Gilbert, and then I jump on other home tours. And it baffles me sometimes. Like if you're trying to sell the home, especially for top dollar or in a good price range that you want to achieve, I just feel like that some of the houses aren't set up for success. Some of the houses, whether they have certain smell lingering too, right? That's one thing. It's not clean. Cause home tour, when you put your house on the home tour, you got a good week ahead of
Yeah.
time to get it ready and it's a very select 3 hours, right? For the most
Yeah.
part. And, as a seller, if I was the seller, I would want to make sure my house is set up for success and that when a buyer walks in there, they could feel like they can move into the home also.
Right.
You don't want to leave it up to the buyer's imagination of what certain things might cost, right?
Mhm.
Like painting or new carpet. They might think, okay, that's 20,000, 15,000 when it's really five or
Yeah.
3,000, right? A fraction of what they're thinking, right? So they're adding things up in their head. And if you're trying to sell that house, I always say like either you do the repairs and you set it up for success or you're going to sell it lower. It's
Right.
kind
I'm
of,
just gonna go with basics like cleaning,
yeah, even
putting
that
things away.
windows.
But this is the thing that I'm finding a little bit odder about now. It's like we don't our inventory is fine, right? We have
Mhm.
a very healthy amount of inventory. It's what's on the market right now, and people are saying like things aren't settling or things. I'm like partly because when I show up at these houses and I see like phone chargers, oh bless you,
Excuse
I
me.
see phone chargers on the countertops and dishes in the sink and beds not made, the dirty laundry in a hamper, shoes outside next to a door. Like those are things like that's putting you as the seller in the home. There's a
Mhm.
reason model homes sell really well. It looks
Yeah.
like anyone can go in at any point. I'm not saying your house has to be model perfect, but it has to be so much so that when someone walks in the door, they don't see you and the people who live in your house. They want to see themselves.
Mhm.
So I feel like I have a friend who always says like other people's dirt is dirtier, right? When you see other people's stuff, it just then because I even had this conversation with another client who's a buyer, and they were saying, yeah, I feel like sometimes when I go in these houses, like they're not kept up really well. Because if you're seeing all those things like that, they all of a sudden assume your house has got all these deferred maintenance problems.
Mhm. Mhm.
So it's really important that people keep their home super clean when they're selling. Cleanliness is the utmost. Okay, so if you can't put some stuff away or whatever, because maybe just it's a storage issue and maybe that's why storage issue and maybe that's why you're moving. It's got to be clean, really clean.
Yeah. You got to make it up some way or another, right? And I think that, the house, you're correct. Like it's in the back of the person's mind, right? What
Yes,
else is wrong with this home? And
exactly.
you're 100% like take down the pictures, like you just keep it simple so they can
Mhm,
feel like they could put their pictures up.
exactly.
Decluttering is another one as well. Bulky furniture, if you can get out of that, makes the
Mhm.
house look bigger, makes the rooms look bigger with smaller furniture. And don't just put it in the garage either, right? People want to envision their cars in there,
Yeah.
right? Get a unit for a month or two, right? Like move it out of the house. But yeah, I think it's really important that you have the right team with you, right? The right realtor, the right, title, lender, all that can have those real conversations with you and set your house up for the most success.
Yeah, and it's interesting because I've been noticing this over I mean, granted, we haven't had a ton of buyers over the last little bit, but that's kind of the point, right? Buyers have not been prevalent in the market over the past like 4 months. So they're coming back now and they're
Oh
they're
yeah.
coming back strong and they're ready to go. but they're kind of like, this isn't exactly what I want. And a lot of times it's not so like they'll forgive things like maybe something is outdated or something, but if it looks clean, then they're like, all right, well, at least I can live with this for now until they're ready to make those changes. But I'm just seeing this crazy sort of, I hope it's a trend and it's going to fade really quick. Like people just basically walking out of their house, not even picking up after themselves after breakfast or something when they would show a property.
Well,
So
the demand is coming, that's for sure. I mean, I
yeah,
am busy with pre-qualifying people, right?
hands
And getting
down.
people ready to get out there. And when the lender's busy in the beginning, that means the market is going to be busy in the near future. So a lot of that going on. I think a lot of people are going to be shopping through the holidays,
Yeah.
which is usually a little slower for us historically. But I don't think that's going to be the case this year. People need to move.
Yeah.
They're bursting at the seams. It's time for them to move.
So
So
true.
yeah.
It's very true. Well, so we've been hearing a lot about this high inventory and stuff, but very honestly, when we look at the numbers, it really isn't high inventory.
Mhm.
Our inventory is super healthy. It's just the inventory we have, I think, leaves a lot to be desired for certain buyers. And buyers feel that like, hey, I'm already putting a lot into this because the rate is more than I expected. I don't really want to do updates. I don't especially don't want to have to clean a house when I first get in it because they also think you're not going to clean it when you leave. So that's another
Mhm.
challenge. They're trying to find, the path of least resistance. So when you make that house an experience from the minute they walk up the door all the way through to the end, then you have the higher probability of being the one chosen because you are competing with other homes on the market. It's not like you're like back in the day when we had 3,500 houses. Now we have 26,000. So
Mhm.
definitely opportunities. But remember, they're going to see that house. And they're going to say, okay, I have room to negotiate here because it's been on the
Mhm.
market a while. It looks like this when I go in and see it. That's in the buyer's head.
Yep.
And they're not
100%.
necessarily wrong unless, you have, but and I get a lot of sellers are sticking to their price points, which is fine. But you stick to your price point, just clean your house. That's all we ask. Just make it really
That's
nice when
simple.
you go and show it. That's it. But anything else you want to add on rates? Rates look like they're doing pretty well still.
Well, yeah, I mean, the Fed cut rates went up a little bit,
Yeah, I
opposite of
know.
fact,
It has something to do with like something he said, right? Like during that.
of every time. Yep. I just wish he wouldn't say anything afterwards.
I know. He said
Uh,
something that caused everything to pop up. I'm like, just stop talking.
yeah, it was more hinting at, two things. It was the selling off of the securities that they're going to turn off. And then the biggest thing I think was that he put in the doubt future cuts
Right.
immediately, which, the market prices ahead. So not only did the market already price that cut, they priced another cut probably by the end of the year.
Mhm.
And now that's in doubt. But, rates are, like I said, just holding strong for the most part. They're not jumping up. They're not skyrocketing. They're not dropping like crazy. They're just kind of holding strong. So it makes it easier for me to quote rates, to quote products,
Yeah.
right, that I still have it the next day. A cool thing, right now, a lot of the down payment assistance programs are being talked about being refunded. So hopefully we have some great news about that coming for first time home buyers over the next month or so. And then, and hitting back, like sellers right now have low rates, right? So they're not in a rush. They can hold that purchase point.
Mhm.
And I think that, or they could turn it into a rental and then buy another primary, right?
That's
They could
true.
afford that with that low rate. So I think that's the unique thing about our market right now is that it's kind of balanced, right? Like it's
Yeah.
either sellers aren't desperate to sell and buyers aren't exactly, they're bursting at the seams, but they can sit there. So you're not going to always get $50,000 price cuts is what I always
No,
tell people.
that's
So
true. That's true. So again, just, if you have any questions for Bill and I, feel free to reach out to us. I'll put our contact information in the comments. Also, on November 17th, we will have Jim Chaston, CPA that Bill and I are great friends with. And he's also the CPA I absolutely love to use. He knows a great deal about real estate, and we're going to be talking reverse 1031 exchanges. A lot of people have never
yeah,
done it. I have done one myself personally, so I can chat about it a little bit and the experience with it, and the benefits of doing a reverse 1031 exchange. So if you want to know more information about that, come to us on November 17th. We'll make sure you check out that video. And then January 13th, I'm going to put this link in the comments as well. I'm doing a Protect Your Legacy event, and it's going to be with Jim, who's going to be our CPA, our life and disability friend, and a guy who specializes in life and disability, and an estate planning attorney. So together, we're going to be at Mesa Country Club at 6 to 7 o'clock that night. just helping you understand, like, you're working really hard right now. So let's see how we can best protect what you want to leave to whomever you want to leave it to. I don't even care if it's your cat. So whatever. Well, let's make sure we just get it done right. And especially because all this equity people have in their homes, they have more assets than they thought they may have thought they were going to have
Mhm.
at this point in their life. So this is going to be a great class as well. I'm going to put the registration for that link in the comments, and reach out to either of us if you have anything. And Bill, thank you again for being here. Appreciate you.
Thank you.